This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of the show Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And I just recently finished watching this, and I've had a pretty good time watching it, so let's go into it. And starting with the first season, we have a pretty solid start up with the episodes Breakout Part 1 and 2, which shows the formation of the Avengers. And then we take a backseat as we go through a bunch of different origin episodes for different characters. And we have some pretty good ones with Iron Man is Born, Hulk vs. the World, Meet Captain America, and The Man in the Anthill. But Thor the Mighty was a really bad episode. And honestly, I was so bored when watching it. I was just wondering how much more time was left in it. And I felt like it was dragging on forever. And even though it set up many major plot points for the season, including Loki being the ultimate main villain of the season, it was just done and handled so poorly, I think, that I just couldn't watch this episode because it was just really poorly handled. And I'm so glad that this was not a Thor show initially. Thor does get a lot better, but this episode was really poorly handled. And then we start up once again with some Assembly Required, which comes off of Breakout, and I think they probably should have. I'm not sure if they did release it this way, but they should have had these origin episodes before the story of Breakout because I was also just wanting to see the continuation of the storyline instead of seeing an individual episode focusing on the founding Avengers and Cap, since as it is comic accurate, we don't have Cap as a founding Avenger since it is Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So that is interesting. And then with this we have the Hulk leaving the Avengers and some assembly required. With the Living Legend we get Captain America coming into the present day, and that was a great storyline to see Rogers return, and he was done really well. And then we have Everything is Wonderful, which brings in, I believe, Wonder Man or Amazing Man or something like that. I don't remember the guy's name. It's one of those two though, and he is an interesting villain that turns into a villain because he is, kind of tricked in a circumstance when he thinks he's betrayed but really isn't by Tony Stark, and yeah, that was interesting. And then we have Panther's Quest, which was set up in, I believe, the Ant-Man one, where Black Panther is looking for help to get back Wakanda. And then there is Gamma World, which is a interesting storyline where we get to see everyone sort of being infected by the Hulk, but also Hawkeye is found innocent, and Black Widow is put on the run, although we later learn she is a double agent in Hydra. Continuing on, we get Masters of Evil, and that was a nice, build up with some of the storylines, and Masters of Evil do escape, and I think it was really well done. Up next is 459, and this begins the Kree Skrull storyline, beginning with Marvel being revealed and things getting pretty crazy as they have to fight off one of the robots. I can't think of its name. Then there is Widow Sting, where Black Widow is being hunted down by Hawkeye. And although we don't fully know that Black Widow is a spy, I kind of figured it out by then, knowing that they wouldn't have Black Widow be a villain when she is typically a hero, and I already guessed before she saved Hawkeye's life that she was a double agent. Then we get a great two-part one with Kang saying that Captain America will cause the destruction of the world and then this leading to an ultimate fight with him, and them ultimately being able to take the victory very, very closely. And actually, this is a three-part one. I thought it was two-part, but I just scrolled through and saw it was three parts. But still, it was done really well, and they did a great job with King there, and also with a payoff in the next season, which I'll also be talking about. And then there's a pretty decent one with the Cask of Ancient Winters, and that was one that was done well. Hail Hydra was a fight between Aim and Hydra, and that was also done well with and it's in the Cosmic Cube. And then we have the Ultron storyline, which again I think was done well and had a good setup, and also had Hank Pym leave as Ant-Man. I think they did a really good job with it. And then there is the final three episodes, which is the three-part finale to the season, which sees them figure everything out with the Masters of Evil once again trying to take over the world, but we learn that this is all Loki's plan. He has done everything. And then we see the fall of Asgard, where the Avengers have to go through the different nine realms and go to battle. And then the finale, a day like any other. And that is the great fight where Loki is defeated and the Avengers get their ultimate victory, stopping Loki. And we finally get a really cool Easter egg at the end where a Skrull takes over Captain America and is impersonating him now, and that was a really good way to end the first season. I think they did a really good job, and the season was really interesting. And moving over to season two, we get a great startup with the Private War of Doctor Doom, where we get to actually see the Fantastic Four appear, and we get to see more of the Kree Skrull, well, the Skrulls, and yeah, I think it's interesting because this is such a big, well, universe where we get other characters in it, because I haven't really seen any other continuities besides the Spider-Man from the 90s, which is shared with X-Men, that has really other heroes appearing in it. And by I mean I haven't really seen anything like that because of the legal stuff. I really haven't really seen universes where Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and the Avengers are all together, and this is one of the few that it does happen in. Although it is only Wolverine, but from what it sounds like, the third season would have had the rest of the X-Men appear. And then, continuing on, we have Alone Against AIM, where we get to see Iron Man fighting off another villain, but doesn't have a suit for most of it. And there is Acts of Vengeance, where the rest of the Master of Evils are taken down, and we get way more hints towards Cap being a Skrull. And then a good one with the Kree Empire showing up and being defeated by Captain Marvel and the rest of the Avengers. And then a nice Ant-Man storyline where we get to see the Scott Lang Ant-Man appear. We get some cool appearances from Luke Cage and Iron Fist. And then we finally end up with Hank, just trying to give up the role and the mantle. And then an okay one was Michael Korvac, which was a storyline done with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then a great startup to the storyline done with Secret Invasion with Who Do You Trust when the Avengers begin to fall. Then there is the Ballad of Beta Ray Bill, which is then set up for the Searcher storyline that sadly never gets finished. And then Nightmare in Red was a great Red Hulk storyline. Prisoner of War starts up the conclusion towards the Secret Invasion when Cap escapes from the Skrull ship. And then there's Infiltration and Secret Invasion, which were two great episodes with the Secret Invasion ultimately happening and a victory being won. Along Came a Spider was another great one where we get to see Spider-Man team up with Captain America as Captain America has his reputation destroyed by the Skrulls. And it goes with Spider-Man since Spider-Man has always being destroyed by the Daily Bugle. We then have an interesting one with Hold the Vision where we get to see Vision and know that Ultron is back. Assault on 42 was a pretty decent storyline. And then we get a great finish up to the Ultron with Ultron Unlimited, where the Avengers are just able to defeat their enemy. Yellow Jacket was another good one, and we get to see how they tackle the storyline of Hank Pym's mental health issues. I think they did a really good job with that. And then one of the ones I was most impressed with was Emperor Stark, where we have Iron Man take over the world, and he's being controlled by the Purple Man, or, well, I would prefer using Kilgrave since, well, I'm nearly about to finish Jessica Jones. I'll probably finish it. Well, probably would have finished it by the time this is coming out since I have one episode left. And yeah, that's really good because I thought this was going to be some kind of, alternate timeline or, mental storyline taking place in the Vision's head. But it wasn't, and I think they did a really good job with that, not making it super cliche. And then we have Code Red and the Winter Soldier, where we get to deal with the Red Skull returning and Bucky Barnes returning as the Winter Soldier. I think that was interesting. Deadliest Man Alive finishes up the stuff with the Red Hulk. And the New Avengers was an interesting storyline also, where we get to see a pretty cool team up of different heroes, including The Thing, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Luke Cage, or Iron Fist, and then I think there might have been someone else, I don't remember. But it was still a really interesting one. And then one episode I think that was really good but kind of ruined by the last one was, well, the next one was Operation Galactic Storm, where we learn what the choices that Captain America makes that destroys the world, which is to save Black Panther when the sun is about to be destroyed by a portal, and they decide to save him instead of destroying the portal, the wormhole. And I think that if Black Panther died there, that would have been a really great moment. But then it's kind of ruined in the next one, Live, Free or Die, where Black Panther is able to escape at the last minute. And I think that that was just such a bad writing in this story because I just feel like it could have had real weight if Black Panther actually did die there. And it kind of ruined this episode for me, although it was a pretty decent episode until it was kind of ruined by that. And then we have Avengers Assemble, which I think could have served a little bit better as the series finale, and it might have. And this might just have the episodes put backwards between the last two, since Powerless just kind of leaves everything not wrapped up with it having the storyline of. Well, I'll go to that in a minute. Actually, no, I'll do that one first because I think Avengers Assemble is better to look at as a finale. And I think it's that because this one has just the Avengers losing their power and it's more of a tease towards the Searcher storyline. And I think it was still interesting to see, and they did a good job with it and had Thor learn some humility. But Avengers Assemble feels more like a true series finale, and that was because we got to see all the heroes team up, take on Galactus, and be able to save the world, where they have the final shot being the one that you see towards the end of each episode, each of the opening credits, where the heroes are teamed up. And I think that, yeah, that was a pretty well done storyline. And I do wish that there was a third season at least to finish up the Searcher one because that was a pretty big plot hole that they never, well, plot they never resolved. and that was really interesting. I do think that it was a missed opportunity for them to finish that. Yeah, I think that we still have a really good show here. If you're definitely a fan of the comics, I think you would like this. And the thing is, I'm not even a huge Marvel Comics fan. I'm way more into DC, and I still think this did a really good job and handled these stories really well. But I want to know what you think. What do you think of the show? Have you watched it? Have you not watched it? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.